Well, hello, LinkedIn. How you doing? We
Hey,
got
LinkedIn
the
Live.
the infamous Zev Wexler here today, and someone who is near and dear to my heart, Danny Del Vecchio. Really great to see you, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you guys so much for having me. Excited to dive in today. Let's go.
Absolutely. So just for some context, I actually ran into Danny on LinkedIn. Zev and I are huge on LinkedIn, and he popped up in my feed. And I said, this guy makes some cool videos, and I really enjoyed the content you produced, which with a lot of the off the shelf AI junk that's going around today, it was refreshing. So I really glad that we could connect and become friends here and have you on as a guest. I don't want to steal too much of your thunder, Danny. So would you mind sharing a little bit of story and background on yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Danny Del Vecchio. I own a niche video marketing agency that specializes in helping founders and companies and business owners create content specifically for LinkedIn, YouTube, but really all kind of social media platforms. And the way that I kind of got into it, I have no background in video production whatsoever, by the way, none. I got into it because I was in sales before. And while I was in sales, and every role in sales, from sales rep to sales manager, sales director, sales trainer, sales enablement, right? And then alongside my sales career, I became a content creator, specifically podcasting. So I started a podcast in 2014. And when I started my podcast, I learned there was kind of two things. There was kind of two options if I wanted people to listen to it. And yes, it was a hobby. I wasn't making any money off of it, but I still wanted people to listen. So I learned that you could either pay to play or you could do organic social media. And I was like, all right, social media it is. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm going to start promoting my podcast on social media. Well, 500,000 downloads on this podcast and thousands of followers across Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. I ended up growing this podcast into like a top 3 podcast on iTunes at some point. And like, again, this was like, I never thought this would ever happen, but what I learned was I learned social media. I learned how to become a content creator. I learned to get into video. So when I started my business in 2022, it started out as a coaching business. And basically what I was doing is I was coaching people on the two things that I was really good at. One, which was social media, and one, which was sales, and teaching people how to position themselves and start selling and promoting themselves on social media, right? And I kept telling all my clients, I'm like, you got to do video, you got to do video, you got to do video. And video is hard for people. It's very hard for a number of reasons. People are not comfortable on camera. People don't know what to do. They don't know what equipment they need or how to film, or do they need to be widescreen or tall? And like, there's all these questions that people like don't really know. Then there's also, I just don't have time to do what you're telling me to do, Danny. Like, you're telling me to go and record a video every day and post it and edit it and write a caption, all that. So I was like, I need to come up with a really cool, exciting way to show my clients how to, or to basically create a bunch of video content for my clients in a really short period of time. And I kind of came up with this method where I would use some of the interview skills that I gained from being a podcaster. And I would interview them and ask them questions and give them prompts and hooks and capture it, and then started to do some of the editing for them. And that kind of side piece that I was growing for my business ended up becoming my main business, and I got into video production.
Wow.
That's super cool, man. So I don't know how much of this I'm sure you know a lot of it, but guys, do you know how many people do, let's say on LinkedIn, create content regularly on LinkedIn? What's the percentage of people that use LinkedIn that create content regularly? Danny, do you know the stat?
Yeah, I think it's about like 3% people like post like more than once a week or something like that.
I think it's even less than that. I think it's even less than 2%. I think it's closer to 1%. So you do amazing things. You help people showcase themselves. But like you just said, the first thing to do is being proactive, right? You didn't know what you were doing in the beginning, and then you became a very, very, very successful podcaster. Okay, I want to shout out somebody, a good friend of mine, Fred Diamond, a good friend of
Okay.
mine that does amazing things. Started a podcast about sales game changer, and became the third top listened sales podcast in the world. Super exciting. So, guys, go after it. I will never share with you the first video I've done because of the embarrassment.
Ah,
But you got to go and do it. And I'm going to share a couple of things with you that kind of led my professional life. I am not trying to be a social media celebrity. Okay. I am not trying to be an influencer, but I understand a few things. One is when you and I are talking to each other right now, and Daniel, of course, our brain doesn't understand that we're virtual. Okay. Our brain thinks that we are now talking to each other. Now, as our brain, we always look for faces and eyes and things to actually learn and teach. Okay. So putting yourself out there is the best thing that you can do. And we have an algorithm, Danny, that basically states that if anybody watches you 3 times, okay, if they watched you talk about video or content for 3 times, whether they like it or not, you become an authority on that subject. Okay. If somebody sees you 5 times, they almost become a celebrity in your mind. If somebody sees you over 10 times, you become a good friend of theirs in their head. Okay. So I'll give you an example. Everybody knows Joe Rogan, right? I have a lot of Joe Rogan hours in my mind, probably more hours than me and Daniel, even though Daniel is a close friend and partner of mine. So in my brain's eye, Joe Rogan is a closest friend of mine than Daniel, just because of the repetition I've had of him in my mind. And what we don't understand is our mind is an apparatus, and we got to put it out there. We got to help people. But the more we help, the more we become a teacher, and we become somebody of substance in that person's mind. I'll give you a funny example, and then I'd love Daniel and Danny for you guys to interject. But I'll give you a great example. One time I'm walking in an airport, and suddenly I look at somebody, and I recognize him, and almost like this happy feeling comes, like, it's a buddy of mine. Turns out it was like a Top Chef guy, like some show that I watched or something. But I felt like he was my buddy. We actually became friends, the nicest dude in the world. I really enjoyed our meeting. We became friends afterwards, but I felt like I know him and I like him, even though I've never met him before. And that's what our minds do. So that's why I'm such a huge, huge guy that puts so much effort on video, not because I think I'm so good at it or I need to be in front of you, but just because I understand the value of it. Danny, what do you think about that?
yeah, I mean, you definitely nailed it on the head as far as like the value of it is in building the know, like, trust factor, right? And, it's no secret that like video on LinkedIn is still a mystery to a lot of people, right? Like, the video feed is out or it's still in beta, but it's it seems to be being pushed out to more and more people now, right? So there's that part of it. But although we've been able to make videos for years, before I ever even started making videos on LinkedIn, it's been an option and it's been available. But you look at what's happening with other platforms, like specifically Instagram is probably the one to really highlight, right? That used to be a platform where people just posted photos. They posted pictures. It was images, right? And then video has completely taken over that platform. Like Reels came out and it was like almost overnight that it changed. And we're seeing a real shift on LinkedIn right now too, where we're seeing a lot more people posting videos. We're seeing a lot more people focused on getting themselves out there on video. And we're seeing some love from the algorithm on videos too, which is nice. I got a video that got 2 million views last week.
That's amazing. So, guys, this is so true. And I know, did you notice the new shorts part of LinkedIn, Danny? Like LinkedIn now actually has, when you scroll, it has a shorts part. So, guys, TikTok has proved to be the best social media out there, algorithm-wise and everything else. I know Instagram's amazing, but TikTok is killing them. So everybody, all the algorithms, all the platforms are changing towards TikTok because TikTok has proven to be a more addictive model. So I think all of the platform are moving towards what TikTok is doing, and LinkedIn is no exception. And in the end of the day, video keeps on inching up and up. I think video already represents more than 50% of the internet content today. So
Totally.
that is insane. And it's a way to educate someone. A video could be the best replacement. If you can't do a meeting with somebody, if they watch you on a video, that's almost the best thing. Daniel, what do you think about that?
So I completely agree, and I think as you look at the trends of engagement specifically from like a customer standpoint, attention spans dropping down, getting shorter and shorter as people speed scroll through things, and so the more channels that you have to engage with them, right? For instance, on LinkedIn, people used to post essentially white pages, like just very dry, long, wordy documents, and because it's LinkedIn, people would read through that. But I think if you can provide more value upfront that includes audio, like your actual voice and your actual image and likeness and video, explaining it, and then be able to condense that, but still get the value across. That's really the way to keep up. That's the way to engage and maximize the value that you are providing to watchers and listeners.
And as far as
Daniel, I don't know if it's your connection. Sorry, go ahead, Dan.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying, Daniel, your connection might not be so stable. I think you're getting a little stuck there, or maybe the connection here. So for the audience, we apologize if you're getting a little bit of disturbance. Danny, please go ahead.
No, yeah. So essentially, what I was saying is the the opportunity with video, like from an algorithmic standpoint, everything, like, again, like traditionally people say video doesn't do as good on LinkedIn as some of the other types of content, right? And it's never stopped me from creating more and more video content. And it didn't stop me from growing my account. I started my account. I had my LinkedIn for a long time, but I started taking it seriously and using it as a content creation platform less than 2 years ago. And in less than 2 years, I went from 1,000 followers to 18,000. But the real thing is I built my business, which was this kind of side hustle, and I was still working a 9-to-5 job, from that into like a $250,000 business in 2 years, with 95% of the business coming from LinkedIn. And every time I jump into a sales call and start talking to people, it's people feel like they know, like, and trust me. They must have seen my video 10 plus times. All right. Because that's how, like, it's like every single sales call that I get on, it's like a friend. People are already comfortable. They already have like some rapport, some connection, some familiarity with me. And my sales calls kind of go like, hey, look, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my program. I'm going to walk you through it. I'm going to show you how it works. And if you like it, and this is something that you want to do, I'll make you a good offer and we'll go from there. Right. And people are just like, yeah, sure. And it is cool. It's relaxed. It's chill. And I think of all the benefits of video content, and there are many benefits of video content, that's it. That's the one. Like, if it's going to help if it's going to help shorten your sales cycle or make your sales conversations go from kind of rocky to like very smooth and easy, that takes a lot of stress off you. It gives you a lot of confidence to like go out and talk about your services and products and how they can help people. So to me, that know, like, trust factor that is built through consistently showing up on video content trumps all of the other benefits.
I completely agree with you. And I can tell you that I do a lot of speaking all over the world. And I can tell you people watched my videos on LinkedIn and reached out to me and asked me to do speaking. Like, it actually happened. So people that say that videos don't work on LinkedIn, they should look at your channel. They should look at my channel. We wouldn't put so much effort into it if it wasn't working, right? Like, there's just no way of doing it. Now, let's go back to what I said. Only 1% of people does that, one out of 100. You want to showcase yourself? Do it. I truly believe that all of us are going to have to become content creators to some extent. Now, everybody's interested. We've had a lot of cool questions. Let's take a couple of questions before we continue. So Spencer here has asked, great to see you, Danny. I'm curious to know people's opinion on utilizing AI for video content is it beneficial or not? I'll start, and then Danny, you'll go.
Sure.
So Spencer, not all AI was created equal. Okay, shit input equals shit output. So if you take something out of the shelf, give it shit input, what you come out will hurt you more than it will help you. But there is definitely room for AI in all of the processes. It just has to be the right process, and it has to be connected to your knowledge base. The AI needs to know your brand, your story, your voice. So I'm a huge believer in AI tools, just not like off the shelf or like say something to ChatGPT. You just got to educate the AI on what you have. For instance, we have AI tools that basically have rules and brands and knowledge base that only will create things in the way that we want to create them. So I hope that makes sense, Spencer. And Danny, what do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think it has its application in video content where, I feel like AI is a little bit weird right now. Is like people are actually trying to like turn themselves, like make talking head videos like with AI, right? And I'm like, to me, that kind of defeats the purpose, right? Like the purpose of doing video content is definitely to more humanize the content, right? So that people can see you and they can, see your mannerisms and they feel like they get to know you that way. And I feel like if you're using an AI to do that, there's some issues. Now, where I see AI being like extremely valuable is in like the ideation process for what you are potentially going to go out and talk about on video, right? And then I see, and where I utilize it most for myself is in the repurposing part of my content. So now, because I'm a video creator and I have all these videos, I can take my video and I can plug it into AI, and then AI can recreate a post based upon my videos. And it's me, it's my words, and and like, because I'm feeding it my actual words, the output that I get from it is pretty close. So there's a lot less of like me, like I get a post. If I want to write a post, and I don't write many posts, but maybe I just want to write a caption for my video, right? I can take a transcript, put it into AI, have it spit back a post, and it's 80% of the way there. I just maybe need to change some formatting. I maybe need to change a couple things that I wouldn't say. It doesn't write good hooks. I always write better hooks. But I think that's also because I have a lot of practice. But I think that's, to me, where it is where as far as like from my own personal experience, that's where I've seen the most value come from AI.
Love that. So, Spencer, I hope that's a good answer. For instance, right now we're doing a live, right? The live is being broadcasted to LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and X. Okay. LinkedIn is where we really kind of have a show, but we just spread it all the way. This particular application, once we end, will create some shorts for me as well. Now, again, are they going to be the best shorts? Probably not. But do I have to watch the whole video? No, I have some shorts right away to help me create. The same thing, I can basically take the transcription of everything we just did, and I can have an AI basically create an article, a post. I can have an AI create a transcription of our next video. There's so many things that you can do. AI needs to be a part of it, but AI needs to know you. So Danny, you're saying AI doesn't write as good hooks as you do. Now, if you take all of the videos and all the hooks you've done, and you put it into an AI, and you explain to the AI the thought process you have when you do it, I can guarantee you I can train an AI to be just as good as you. Guarantee. Okay.
Nice.
So that's the whole point of like, if you write to the AI, hey, write me a hook, great. But if I upload 100 gigabytes, okay, of Danny hooks, Danny rules, Danny posts, and then I have the AI really learn it, now the AI can mimic you, my friend, because there is rules to the madness, okay? I know this because I've done it to myself. I have a bunch of AIs that basically know how I write emails. And then I realized I'm super direct. Like I don't put any fluff into anything because the AI just read through 1,000 of my emails. Like, this is how you do. Now, there's a lot more questions. So before I digress further, let's see here. Numan is asking, Would love a few tips from Danny about going viral on social media.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Hard thing to answer, but please give it a shot, even though I kind of know what you're going to say.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously my initial reaction to that is like, shouldn't be trying to go viral. The idea really is more about like, I would rather you create content that is designed to speak directly to your dream client and attract that dream client. And when you try to go viral, you're trying to create content that is more, targeted towards the masses, right? So essentially, but if you do want some tips to go viral, here's what you need to do is you need to make it something that's extremely relatable, right, to a large number of people. And maybe that's even pulling something that's in the news or in pop culture or, and I'll give you an example, right? If I was to make a post right now about how to cook a turkey, like it's not going to work. Like nobody cares about how to cook a turkey right now. But if I make a post on how to cook a turkey a week before Thanksgiving, people are going to pay attention, right?
Absolutely.
Like that, right? So like relevance, it needs to be relevant. It needs to capture attention fast. And you need to get to your point. Like I said, as far as capture attention, you need to get into your point very fast. It needs to be visual. You need to have some visual elements that people like. And then it also obviously needs to be good information. So, that's, if you're trying to go viral with like an educational business type content, not entertainment type content, that's what I would say. Relevant, quick hitting, gathering attention, and super valuable, actionable.
Love it. Numan, let me tell you something I learned after putting thousands of videos out there. The viral videos they're fun, okay? But I much rather have 100 people look at my video, 5 of them wanting to do business with me, and 2 of them I have a meeting and 1 client, than a video that gets 4 million views from people that could never use my services. My target market and Danny's target market are very different, but very focused. Okay, Danny wants to help this certain type of people, so he needs to put his video in front of them. Virality with teenagers are not going to help. It will help, but just not really. Like it's kind of like upstream marketing, which is cool. We all like to get those viral videos, but it's not the goal. Like Numan, it's really not the goal. We need to learn how to create videos that work better. We need to work with the algorithms and with psychology of people. But the goal is to make an impact, not go viral, if that makes sense. And I hope that
I'll give a really good example. I have a really good example. So I told you, I mentioned earlier that I had a video that did over 2 million impressions or whatever last week, right? So that video, if you look at one of the analytics that LinkedIn gives you on the videos, is it shows you who's watching them. And you can see the titles of the people that are watching those videos. So that particular video, 10% of the people that watch that video were salespeople, right? Salespeople are not my target audience at all, right? And I think like you had to go all the way down to like the 5th or 6th spot to get founders, which is my target audience. Again, I didn't really get any leads from that video. It was maybe 1 or 2, but like it was definitely more of a top of funnel kind of thing, right? Now a video that I did a week before got 3,500 views. Okay. That video brought in 9 leads, 9, like not just 9 booked appointments. Like people booked appointments on my calendar, and they were qualified appointments too. Right. That video was, again, that it was designed specifically to get leads. And it was, and if you look at the percentage of who viewed that video, that content, like almost 20% of the viewers were my target audience founders, right? So that's the perfect example of like what you can do with a viral video versus like what you could do with a, bottom of the funnel, more targeted video to your direct ideal client. And here's the thing, even though these videos are going viral or whatever, like they're not gaining, like the desire that people have when they're creating viral videos is mostly to get more followers, right? These videos are not like I'm not getting like a tremendous amount more. Yes, I did probably get some more followers than usual because I had some of these videos that have gone well, but I'm not getting like hundreds of and thousands of more followers because these videos are going viral. And I've seen that happen to a lot of creators, like on, you know, some of the other platforms that I've been on too.
You don't get paid from followers, like guys. Like there's no great followers are awesome. Numan, I'll do another one, and then we have so many questions to go over. But if you got viral, it's almost like telling you your video was too general. Okay, like it actually hit a too wide of audience. Again, it's fun to go viral. I have an example. A great friend of mine and a former client. Shout out to Stephen Gaffney. We created a TikTok for him. That TikTok went completely viral. It was an amazing video. I still see people redo that video. It just came on my feed from somebody I don't know. And this is a video we created years ago that went amazing. But he didn't create any business from that because moms on TikTok saw it. And like people that, you know, the guy cost $30,000 for a day, you know, no mom on TikTok is going to buy his services. It did help him. It did kind of do some, but it did not create business. So Numan, virality is not the thing. What are some common mistakes people make when creating video content, and how can they avoid these pitfalls? Also general, but Danny, that's perfect for you.
Yeah, for sure. So I would say big mistake is that you take way too much time to get to the point. The algorithms, social media, like all these, like whether it's LinkedIn or any other, LinkedIn is social media, by the way. I won't care what anybody says. It's LinkedIn social media. So if you are trying to capture attention, you need to capture attention right away, right? So if you are wasting your time with, hey guys, or hey LinkedIn, or what's up guys, or I'm Danny and blah, blah, blah. No, get right to the point. Go right into the point of what you are trying to say in the video, because what you say on that first 3 seconds is essentially going to determine whether people are going to continue to watch that video for the entire duration. So if you are doing something like podcast clips or something like that, where you may not have a hook, then you need a visual hook on the screen that tells people why they should watch the video. So it could be just like a big, bold title that captures people's attention, that tells them why they should continue.
Love that.
Let's see what other problems that other common pitfalls. You know, I see this a lot now, over editing. Like there is so much, like there's so many crazy edits now. Like there's like all these bells and whistles and transitions and this and that. And what ends up happening is, like, when your videos are so overproduced, what happens is it takes people's focus off of your message and puts it onto the production value. They're focused on the production and they're not focused on your message. And that detracts from like what you are ultimately trying to accomplish. So I think another common thing to avoid is over editing. And then, I mean, there's probably a million. Quality wise, let's talk about this. You don't need anything fancy to create high quality videos. You don't need to spend a lot of money to have equipment or anything like that. There is one thing that is going to help you to determine the quality of your video that trumps everything else, and that is lighting. If you have good light, you are going to have a video that looks nice and crisp and captures people's attention. And then crisp sound would be like the second thing. So, and there go the balloons. The balloons are all in for sound. Yep. So crisp sound is another really important thing. And you don't need like an expensive microphone. Like people that wear a $30 lapel microphone that they order from Amazon are getting nice, crisp, clean sound. And if you have good crisp sound and clean and good lighting, you're good.
Love it. Just perfect. Now, guys, Danny, a question for you. What do you think about this? And Daniel, I would love your input as well. I've been trying to do something. I see a lot of great podcasts and a lot of shorts start with like a controversial statement, like a hook, and then it kind of goes into it. I like those. I think if the hook is good, it really brings me in. I started doing it in my own videos. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about cutting like the first 3 seconds to be kind of like the most controversial or interesting or powerful part of the video of the minute, and then going into it?
Yeah, I'm all for that. Anything like I said, anything that you could do to capture people's attention, and any kind of bold statement that goes against the status quo, captures people's attention and makes them curious to want to keep listening, or watching, which is ultimately what you want. So yes, I like any kind of bold statement or like against the status quo kind of thing. If you could pull that out of your podcast, that's how you get people to actually watch those podcast clips, because those are a little bit harder to get people to watch because you don't have a hook in them.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I absolutely love that. And I'm a sucker for those videos where it's almost like a challenge, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to see if you can really hold true to this. And it works and it's effective. But it not only starts with some of the most interesting content, which you need in those first 3 seconds to get attention, but because of the challenging nature of it, or controversial nature of it, it makes the rest of the video more interesting than if you were to take it away. And so I think all around it provides more value, and well, it's a good way to hook.
Love it. Another thing that I want to make sure everybody here knows, guys, 90% of people that watch your social media videos start on mute. Okay. So if you don't attract them without sound, you will never get them to put on sound. Okay. So people do it when they work. They're not going to play the sound when they're commuting, when they're at home with their families. I'm a super auditory guy. I cannot watch without sound, but I know I'm a minority. I see my wife. Sound is like she shows me something and I can't even watch it without sound. But I want you guys to understand, if it's not visually appealing without sound, it's a shit video. Sorry about my French, guys, but it's something that I want to make sure you know. At first, like Danny says, lighting, visually, and like you got to put words on there. All right. Like I fight with my social media team sometimes. They're like, oh, but this influencer stopped doing that. Well, that influencer has 5 million followers and everybody knows his face. So people are now in habit of watching it. If you don't do that, you got to put on, like, why would you watch this? What is the topic? Like, what are you trying to get out of it? So that's something I really, really want people to know. Let's move to another.
And that's how you should write and by the way, that's how you should write your captions to accompany the video as well. Like the entire, like you have a caption to accompany your video. That caption should explain to people why they should watch the video. And you could accomplish that in a number of different ways, but like, that's how you should use that caption to capture people's attention. Right. And then ultimately use it to explain to them why they should watch your video. And those people, like when if it does a good job, they'll watch the video and they'll put the sound on.
Now, this is something I don't do, but I see people do, and it's succeeding so much. So this is a little bit more advanced, but do you know these like intros where they see like something weird happen, like an accident, and then the person so that's something that I know a lot of people do. I've seen some people do. It's not for me, and I'm not going to go ahead and start doing that or hire a person to do that, but I've actually seen people doing that very simply, in a really cool way, like from a hat, a table. So there are ways to get attention on. So let's go to the next question we have here. With 7 seconds to get someone attention, what are some techniques to grab their attention and stand out in the crowd? We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
One thing I like, and I'm starting to play with it, and it might not be the right thing because I may be following my own mind, but I start putting like a timer thing on my videos, because I want people to understand how long they need to stick into it. You know what I mean? Because sometimes I start a video and I want to understand how much investment I need to put in there. So that is something that I'm personally trying, and I'll let you know if that works. So kind of it's like our brand kind of running on the picture. It's also a branding opportunity. That's something that I really like. Controversial questions. Daniel, what do you think?
So for me, what I found a lot of people relate to is pain and vision. In fact, when we do a lot of sales copy, we go through a pain, vision, gap, commitment analysis. But what really hits home with people is the pain that you're solving for and the solution or their vision of where they could be without that pain. And so, speaking in broad terms to Brett's question, if you really want to capture people's attention, you want to put yourself in their shoes and say, look, I am X person with X problem. And what would it be like to wake up and have to deal with that every day, right? I'm a founder who knows I need to use LinkedIn, but I'm terrified of making my own videos. Like, what is it to be in that prospect's shoes or that client's shoes? And what is their vision for the future? If they could magically get over that fear and make killer video content, what does that future look like for them? And then have your hook be in those terms that is literally in the mindset of your prospects. But pain and vision are two of the things that you want to look into. And then, of course, the video should look at the gap. Why can't you do it? Just do it on your own. And what kind of commitment can you take today to get out of your pain into your vision? And those are the typical call to action type pieces.
Love it. Anel has a great question for you, Danny. What is your secret to writing good hooks? I'm going to write some notes here.
Yeah.
Let's get some secrets, Danny.
Yeah, good. Get the pens out. No. So number one is like, it's the simple is better. Okay. Like I don't know if you know Matt Barker. Matt Barker is like, he's a copywriter on LinkedIn. He's really excellent. Right.
I know Matt.
He posted one the other day, like on his newsletter, and it was something, and it was basically something like, if you like, I think the example that he used was a fantasy football thing. It's like, if you play fantasy football, this will help you. Like, do you know how simple that is? That's a great hook.
Yeah.
Like, if I say something like, hey, if you are new to making videos, this will help you. You want to keep going. Right. But to be honest with you, the best way to get to the best way to write good hooks is to take ones that are proven, to find ones that are proven. And there's a formula, and there's all like, but
can you share some formulas, Danny? Because
Zeke talked about TikTok is the spot, right? So basically, and TikTok and Instagram Reels both work for this, right? So I've showed people how to do this, and I show people how to do this in one of the workshops that I run, my Art of Selling on Video workshop. And basically, what I show you how to do is how to find a top person in your niche, right? So, for example, right, if you are in leadership, right, like that's a big, broad niche, a lot of creators, very saturated, right? Well, if you had to think of like a creator in leadership, like who would you think of? Like who would be like if you had to think of somebody big in leadership, who would you think of?
Peterson.
Okay. Yeah, like somebody like Jordan Peterson. Okay, yeah, that one works. Tony Robbins, right? Like Simon Sinek is one, right? I will literally go to Simon Sinek's Instagram, and I will go and I will look at his videos, and I'm going to look at what on average does what kind of views on average does Simon Sinek's videos get on average, right? And you'll see his views 200K, 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 like 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, right? And I'll look at those and I'll say, okay, cool. Then 1 out of every 10 to 20 videos, he's going to have one that has like 3 million. So what you want to do is you want to look at that one that has 3 million views on it and say, what did he do here in this video that it did 10 times the views that he normally gets? And a lot of times it's the hook. Sometimes it could be like a different type of format or something like that. So you got to pay attention to not just the hook, but looking at these videos and saying, what is it that they're doing in these videos that is really capturing attention? So like I go through and I watch a lot of content, and when I see something that I like, I put it on my hooks thing here. This is my hooks note. So for example, it's like, here's something that a lot of, and then you're going to insert your ICP or target audience. So let's say, here's something that a lot of CEOs don't know about video, right? I'm going to insert my expertise in there, right? So here's something a lot of CEOs don't know about video. CEOs are going to want to continue to watch that, are going to want to watch that video.
Love it. Anil, this is my 2 cents. If you want to be more viral, if you want more people, just really tell them what you're going to do. This is how I made X money with this video. This is how I grew. Like, I don't do that much, but it really, really, really works. Okay. Like, you know, how this created that. Like, you gotta, those equations are really important with hooks, and you gotta really spell it out. Or you just gotta put something controversial in there, something that would make people like, what? Like, is he okay? Is he fully there? And then really explain the point. Daniel, do you have some tips for hooks?
So aside from like really the PVGC framework, which is a formula that I've found to be really, really like just killer in putting together, I agree with your statement about controversial. And so what Danny said about simple being best, I think really brings this idea full circle. So if you can boil it down to one thing that you think your audience is going to disagree with, but whether through some clever hook or repositioning, you can back it up. Say something that your audience might disagree with, and they just can't help but scratch the itch. They want to find out, like, is this true? You know, for instance, you know, we do a lot of content creation with AI. No, we do it the right way, but a lot of people are doing it the wrong way. And so, you know, I might post something that says, you know, why AI will never make good content. Well, a lot of people following us, they love AI, and they're like, wait, doesn't this guy do like AI content? And they're going to want to read more. And I can back it up and say, well, why AI won't ever make good content is because it needs an expert to QC it. It needs someone to take the 90% finished product and make it into something genuine, make it into something real. And there we have the post, but that hook there is a boiled down statement that is very controversial to my audience and contradictive even to what my stance is, that AI makes some great content. Does that make sense, Zev?
Yeah, absolutely makes sense. Danny, this is so fun. We've been doing this for over 40 minutes. It seems very, very quick. We had some questions about short should be 15, 30, or 60. So Spencer, and thank you for all your comments, Spencer. You're awesome. We love it. Please continue. So Spencer, if somebody doesn't know you, okay, let me try to share something with you guys. Actually, let's see here. Let's see.
We love the screen share, Zev. Please put that up.
You guys see my screen?
Yeah.
All right. So this is an AI generated video that we did for Labor Day. Hopefully, let's put the sound on. Hopefully everybody can hear it. Let's play it. Awesome. Everybody saw this. We'll stop the share. Now, this was very quick. All right. And this was 100% AI generated. Now, back in the day, if I wanted to generate something like that without AI, it would have taken me some time, some budget. Now, with the tools that we have, I can generate this literally like within a couple of minutes. Okay, so that is a 15-second video because I don't have a big message. I just want to share my love to the people that are part of my community about Labor Day. Now, if I'm talking to people that are used to talking to me, I'll put a longer video. If I'm targeting a new group, I'll put a shorter video on. So it really depends. If it's the first time you're going to put yourself in front of somebody, you can't ask him to put 5 minutes into it. You just can't. But if you give him impactful 15, 30 seconds, then you will get into the habit of them listening to you. So that's kind of my advice. And Danny, what do you think?
I think that you should not be focused on the length of the video. I really think the length of the video doesn't matter. I've had videos that I've done on here that are 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes long that have done very well. And I've had videos that have done, that have been 15 to 30 seconds that have done very well. Right. And I've seen other people do very long videos, 9, 10-minute tutorial style videos where they are literally walking people through a process. And those videos have done really well. There are some big creators on LinkedIn that kind of cash in on that style. Right. Where I find is I find about 45 seconds to a minute is kind of the sweet spot where you have the ability to deliver a powerful and impactful point, but also at the same time, keep people's attention for the duration of the video. Because that's ultimately what you're looking for is to, again, you're looking to make your point, you're looking to bring people in, and you want them to stay and hopefully get to your call to action, right? So I would worry less about the length of, because again, I've done videos that are 2 minutes long that have done very well. And the traditional short form, like the vertical video, not horizontal videos that are closer to 2 minutes, and they can do really well. And I watch videos on Instagram and stuff like that, that some of these videos I watch on Instagram that are going viral are 5 minutes long. So if you have the ability to keep their attention and what you're delivering is valuable, then I really wouldn't worry too much about the length.
Love it. And that connects to the next question that Spencer is asking us. I want you to pay attention to. The biggest thing I pay attention to is the time watched. So how much time is actually being watched? Danny, what do you look for in analytics of a video?
Yeah, watch time is important for sure. You're looking at like how many people, unique views is another one. When you're measuring your videos, you can look at how many people view, how many views you got on the video. Then you can look at how many unique views, which is obviously views by different people. And then I mentioned earlier about looking at who the titles are of the people that are viewing your videos and the locations of those people that are viewing your videos. So are your videos being viewed by more of your target audience? Is an important metric to pay attention to. And I also agree with Zev. Watch time is definitely something to pay attention to. Like, are you keeping people's attention? Are they making it through the duration of the video? Are they getting far enough to get your call to action? All good things to look out for. I did a long video this past week about analytics that you should pay attention to. So if you want, it's on LinkedIn or it's on my YouTube channel. You can find it. Coach Danny D on YouTube also.
Yeah, follow Danny for that. The only thing I would add to that, and this is probably because I'm a sales guy at heart, just like you, Danny. I look in the comments for success. I want to say how many people DM me from this video, how many people comment and ask questions or contribute or provide answers to the call to action. And that's really what I look, a key metric that I look to in addition to, what you guys mentioned, right? Like who's watching it and how long are they looking at it for?
So let's take the example this live. Okay. So there's a lot of attendees on this live. All of these attendees should be prospects for us and for Danny, right? If anybody commented here, now I don't like the DM thing. And Daniel, you and I have had talks about this. If you're waiting for somebody to DM you, you're not doing your job. Like that's my opinion. So if somebody is showing you interest, let's say Spencer here. Danny, do you know Spencer?
Yeah, I think I've seen Spencer around my comments a little bit. So what's up, Spencer? Thanks for participating,
awesome,
man.
And thank you for participating. And it's clear that Spencer is interested in video, because if not, he would not put so much thing. So that's probably a good thing. Very easily, Danny and Spencer can go on a meeting, and Danny can probably help Spencer. Spencer, I'm not throwing you out on the bus. You're awesome. I appreciate you. I'm just saying that if somebody's asking, if somebody's viewing, you got to give to that person. And you don't have to hit him on the head with a hammer, but you do need to reach out to them. Never wait. If people are interested in what you're doing, reach out to them. Understand where they are, what they need help with. So this is a great point. We're about to end. This was so much fun. But Danny, you have a great resource that everybody should know about. Can you share with our network how to find you, how to work with you, and about this awesome resource that you have?
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it. So as far as where you can find me, you can find me on LinkedIn. That's the number one place where you can find me. And all you got to do is search my name, Danny Del Vecchio. You'll find me, no problem. And I look exactly like this on LinkedIn. I will look exactly like this when I get on a sales call. Like this is it. This is what you get. T-shirt, hat, maybe a hoodie if it's a little cooler out, but you should have no problem finding. Even if you Google me, my LinkedIn is the first thing that pops up. If you also want to kind of take a little bit of a level deeper on how to really utilize video on LinkedIn and social media, I would highly recommend checking out my YouTube channel. Again, just go into YouTube, search Coach Danny D, and you'll find me there. And then I do have a resource for anybody that is kind of getting started with video or is looking to kind of level up and improve a little bit on video, but isn't ready to kind of invest in it maybe themselves yet. They want to kind of, go try the DIY route. All right. Please check out, go to coachdannyd.com and you can find my 7-day video challenge. And basically my 7-day video challenge, what it does is it literally gives you each day, it gives you one tip to help improve your video content. And then it gives you one idea of a video to create. And if you follow that 7-day challenge, I guarantee at the end of the 7 days, you will be a lot better than when you started, for sure. And again, you can find that very simply at coachdannyd.com.
Love that. And this is a little bit of a confession. I started regularly posting on LinkedIn kind of post-COVID, but what brought me to put videos on LinkedIn, and it's funny that we're just entered September, but there was this challenge that somebody challenged me. September is the Veterans Month, and 21 veterans commit suicide every day. So there was a challenge to do 21 push-ups for 21 days. And that's really what got me to do video and understand the power of video. And I got to tell you a funny story. We tried to do it in the office, all dressed up, and I promised I'll do it every day. And one day it was a crazy day. I worked all day. I couldn't do it. So I got home and I sounded awful. I looked awful. I was just in my house. I was like, guys, I really didn't want to do it, but I promised. So I'm just going to do it. And it was disgustingly, the visual, the audio, that went viral because people appreciated the fact that I didn't want to do it and I still did it. So sorry for the long story, but Danny, you gave amazing tips. One is proactive. Just be proactive. Go on there. Put stuff on there. You can't do anything without doing that. The other thing is be smart about it. Educate. Put hooks. If you, outside of the hooks and the be proactive, can you give 2 tips from Danny, Coach Danny D, the master video on LinkedIn, what people need to do? And most of our audience is probably not putting videos on a regular basis. So let's talk to people that want to start.
Yeah. So, okay. So if you're looking to start, again, I talked about this a little bit earlier. Do not go out and buy a whole bunch of expensive equipment and all that stuff. Do not let that hold you back from getting started. Okay. All you need is an iPhone and some good lighting and you'll be good. Go outside or something like that. Get yourself a $20 microphone. If you're going to go record outside, have a little microphone. It's going to make a big difference. But if you really want to get started, commit to it for 30 days. And for 30 days, do a 30-second video every single day. 30-second video every day for 30 days. And I don't care what you talk about either. My suggestion is that you talk about something that happened in your business that day. Like a meeting that you had with a client or, something that you're working on. Just get on the camera, hit record and talk into the phone for 30 seconds and do this every day for 30 days. At the end of that 30 days, I want you to do this right here. I want you to look at video number 1. And then immediately after that, I want you to look at video number 30. Okay. And look at where you were on video number 1 and where you are on video number 30. And that'll give you some serious confidence to continue to keep creating videos, because when you see how much you've improved from day 1 to day 30 after doing it for 30 days, It's incredible. By the way, you don't have to post any of these videos for that 30 days. You don't have to share any of them. You can keep them to yourself. If you do want to share them, Instagram stories is great because they disappear after 24 hours. This is how I learned to do video. I did video on Instagram stories every day for like 2 years without missing a day. And I would just go on, I would talk for 30 seconds. I would challenge myself to do that. If you can do that and you can commit to that, you will be 100 times better, and you will be able to deliver what your thoughts very eloquently and intelligently on camera anytime.
Danny Del Vecchio, I think this was our longest live, and just because you have so much to give, everybody, please follow Danny on LinkedIn. Everybody, please look at Danny's videos. And something I want to tell everybody here: if you like something, like and comment. Okay, I know so many people that come to me on a day. Oh my God, I watch your videos every day. I love them. Then like and comment, right? Understand that if you like something and we're putting efforts to it, help us. Okay, so that's my personal request from you. If you like the stuff that Danny does, like it and comment. You like the stuff that I do, like and comment, show us. Okay, because I get calls all day long. Oh my God, I love your videos. I was like, then like them. Sorry,
Yeah.
a little bit of a pet peeve here.
Hit the button, hit the button.
Hit the button. Danny Del Vecchio, you're awesome. Everybody follow Danny, follow Daniel, follow myself, and we'll see you guys in our next live. This was awesome. Everybody, and especially Danny, thank you so much, man.
Thank you guys. Appreciate you having me.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Danny.